Today's topic is human relationships and social behavior in the light of quantum emotions and quantum relationships. All through the topic studied so far, we have focused on the intrapersonal aspect of the self concerning consciousness, cognition, and emotions. Today, we get into the interpersonal aspect as we look at how one's quantum self communicates and relates with other quantum selves. You are now aware of yourself as more than a physical body, and you are aware that as energy, you can utilize 95% of consciousness and not limit yourself to only 5% that you were using when you thought you were just a physical body. We are constantly communicating and relating, not only to other quantum selves, but to the environment and with higher consciousness, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. Our energy field is constantly interacting with energy fields of other humans and all things. And we are an energy field. And wherever we go, we are broadcasting energy. We communicate through energy. Energies are communications. We communicate the vibrational frequencies of our intentions, thoughts, and emotions with our consciousness. These are received instantaneously by other humans, places, events, situations, and all creatures. We vibrate this energy of who we are into the field and alter what is happening there. If we can change information in the quantum field, we can change matter and affect matter and create matter from energy or spirit and heal our relationships. Have you ever wondered how you put out that signal that attracts the right people or how you connect with another person's really deeply? We do this when we learn to use our energy to relate and communicate. As energy beings, we communicate with the energy frequency of our thoughts, intentions, emotions, and actions. Thoughts and emotions project energetic frequencies that are communicated via our chakras. Chakras are energy centers. And we are energy centers in our energy field. And these chakras communicate these frequencies to other energy fields and other humans and other organisms in our environment. This is spiritual or metaphysical communication beyond the physical. One's emotional state influences the vibrational frequency of their chakras, and these frequencies intuitively are felt by others. And this is often described as sensing someone's vibe or sensing someone's aura. The 7 chakras are the root chakra at the base of the spine for grounding and stability and survival. The second chakra is located at the lower abdomen for creativity, emotions, and pleasure. And the third chakra is the solar plexus at the upper abdomen for personal power, self-esteem, and confidence. And the heart chakra is at the center of the chest for love, compassion, and connection. And the throat chakra at the throat is for communication and self-expression. And the third eye chakra between the eyes is for intuition, perception, and wisdom. And lastly, the crown chakra at the top of the head is for spiritual connection, consciousness, and purpose. These are the chakras or energy centers we use to communicate metaphysically with others and everything around us. When we meet somebody, our chakras are talking and we are relating and communicating. Energy fields or auras interact and our chakras communicate with each other. We are attracted or pulled away from them. And this communication is an energetic exchange that influences how we feel about the person and how well we get along, impacting both verbal and nonverbal interactions. We start to connect at the crown chakra, where our spirit minds start to say hello. We are excited to meet them, and something is going on energetically. And the bodies at the second chakra starts to say hello as well. And we start to connect deeper and deeper at all the rest of the chakras. When we are in a deeper communication, all chakras start to connect. And communication is through energy vibration and frequency, where everything is vibrating. And remember, everything is energy. Everything is energy and vibration. At the fundamental level, quantum physics suggests that all matter is in a perpetual state of motion and oscillation, and our personal vibration acts like a broadcast signal, attracting people, experiences, and situations resonating with our current frequency. And this communication with our energy vibration can be conscious through intentional focus and unconscious through ingrained beliefs and habitual thought patterns embedded in our subconscious mind. So today's topic, quantum relations and social behavior, explores how the quantum self sees relationships. It approaches relationships through interconnectedness and the balance of individuality and togetherness. And this emphasizes empathy and taking responsibility for the energy each one of us brings into a connection. Changing oneself can influence a partner and others and the environment. The quantum self focuses on the intentional choices to navigate the complexities of human connection. It challenges the idea of a separate individual, suggesting that we are entangled at a fundamental level and we are influencing each other through these quantum relationships. Today, I'm going to blow your mind with what I'm going to say to you next. Are you aware that there could be quantum relationships that defy classical physics? Those relationships that are not fully explained by logic, and those same relationships that are considered weird because they cannot be explained by classical physics. So, quantum relationships and social behavior are viewed differently by the material self or classical laws and by the quantum self or quantum principles. There are social phenomena that classical laws may not fully explain, such as mass delusion, mass panic, mass hysteria, and the impact of mass meditation, collective consciousness, and synchronous experiences, empathy, and intuition. Quantum relationship is another dynamic that classical laws may not fully explain. And those relationships that may defy classical physics are not fully explained by logic. And you might say that they are abnormal or weird or impossible. However, their experience is on a deeper energetic quantum level. And I'm going to give you an example of these relationships. A celibate companionship between a man and woman with a display of affection without sexual activity is one of those relationships. Chastity within deep unmarried friendships is another. A married couple who take a vow of celibacy, a vow of perpetual virginity for sexual chastity. And an example is Saint Eliezer and Blessed Delphine. And most of us might consider this as weird. Why should you marry and then at the same time make a vow of perpetual virginity? Why are you marrying? And there are also those couples who stay celibate during a start of a relationship, knowing that sex is not the only way to be intimate. Or they stay celibate to recover from a relationship to change the way they will approach a new relationship. And there are those who practice periodic abstinence as married couples within a marriage. And all these relationships I'm describing to you, you might think they are abnormal, but this is quantum sexuality. And this is quantumly possible. Connections in these relationships are deeply interconnected than the traditional views we are used to. And they emphasize the power of energy, the power of potential, and the power of interconnectedness to create deeper, more powerful bonds that involve perceiving the highest meaning in a situation, uplifting one another, seeing potential in others before they see it themselves, and to examine romantic relationships and the experience of love to maintain intimate communication amidst what the rest of the world might consider weird and abnormal. There is one other relationship I want to bring to your attention. There was a couple that was torn between the stability of a relationship and the allure of an intellectual companionship with another outside person, and they were ensnared in a dilemma where a relationship with a spouse already provided unwavering support, and yet this couple relationship was tested with a profound friendship with a co-worker, a colleague, recognized for their sharp intellectual and shared workplace project curiosity. And this work colleague became a beacon of inspiration for one of the spouses, while the partner at home grappled with emotional turbulence. The couple was daunted with the task. The couple was daunted with the task of balancing devotion to each other with the irresistible pull of workplace companion. And this intricate dance of affection and intellect paints a complex portrait of love and reality in a world of groundbreaking quantum physics. Hello. So let us look at the key concepts of such quantum relationships. And the first one is energy and vibration. Everything, including us, is energy and emits vibrations that influence how individuals connect and interact. Consciously managing one's energy can enhance the quality of connections, leading to a deeper intimacy and joy. And the second concept is potential and co-creation. Such quantum relationships focus on recognizing and nurturing the potential in oneself and others, seeing beyond the limitations and encouraging growth and transformation. And such quantum relationships become a space where individuals can co-create a more expansive and fulfilling future. And the third key concept of these quantum relationships is the practical applications. Falling in love is quantum entanglement, where a sense of oneness is experienced. Even if a romantic connection doesn't lead to long-term commitment, it can still be valuable for learning and growth. Let's now look at the key quantum principles applied to social behavior. The world of quantum physics holds the key to understand human behavior. And quantum physics, with its mysterious particles and laws, might seem far removed from our lives. However, what if principles that govern the tiniest particles also apply to us? When we look at superposition as applied to social behavior, individuals and groups exist in multiple potential states, e.g. roles, beliefs, and emotions, simultaneously until an action or observation collapses them into a single reality. And when this is applied to social superposition, this principle describes human attitudes and identities that exist in a state of multiple possibilities before a social interaction forces a definitive observable action. When we look at the observer effect principle and how it applies to social behavior, observing social situations, either self-perception or group interaction, influences the outcome, and social behavior may not be purely classical or deterministic, and social relationships exist in multiple states waiting for a choice to land in reality. Remember that observation influences the outcome of a system, and human behavior is altered by the presence of observation. When we go to the third and last principle of entanglement and how it relates to social relationships, people and social bonds are seen as entangled individual states that influence each other non-locally. And the mind can be a realm of infinite possibilities for successful, wholesome marriages, for successful communities, for successful congregations, organizations, and companionship. We are interconnected and can't be separated, and we are linked and affect each other's state rather than being separate entities. Groups are interconnected. The state of one group influences another, and social context and past experiences create social entanglements and affect individual collective behavior. instantaneous connection, societal structures can be viewed as interconnected fields where mass actions and emotions have non-local effects on others. We are all interconnected in a web of invisible bonds, responding to each other's joys, to each other's sorrows, triumphs, and failures. An apparition seen by one can be seen by the whole group. And this means that social entanglement and collective behavior can be seen in times of natural disasters such as famine or war. And when we are faced with problems, we tunnel through the barriers and conquer the impossible individually or collectively. And this is quantum tunneling, which is our ability to overcome crises. And powerful rules governing tiny particles also guide us and influence social behavior. We are now going into quantum entanglement and relationship transformation between groups, between societies, or between couples. When two or more people interact regularly, their emotional fields are entangled. Right now, as you are staying in a community or congregation, your emotional fields are entangled. And what happens to one affects the other despite the distance. And this explains the profound connection between long-term partners and the deep bonds between a child and parents, or a superior and the novitiates, and the intuitive knowing that develops in close relationships. And understanding this revolutionizes how we approach relationships challenges. And instead of changing the other person or fixing external circumstances, we can focus on transforming our own quantum emotional field. And when we shift our field into greater coherence, it increases space and opportunity for the entangled fields of others to shift as well. So, just as entangled particles maintain their linked state, relationships require effort to nurture the sense of oneness by consistent communication, by consistent empathy and understanding. And falling in love is likened to quantum entanglement, where two entities become linked and share a fate despite distance. And falling in love involves merging of energies and maintaining a sense of oneness to sustain that love. And mindful communication is vital to maintain a healthy relationship. And we have to appreciate and care about a partner's perspective, which can invoke a shift in energy. Self-reflection and understanding is used for each of the partners to ask themselves, what is my partner seeing in me that I do not see in myself? And this fosters self-awareness in the relationship. And our well-being is entangled with the well-being of others. And one's well-being is connected to and is influenced by the well-being of another. And multiple states of well-being coexist and are instantaneously shared. Conscious relationship resonance. What does that mean? And how does it change our relationships? Creating healthy quantum emotional entanglement in relationships requires intentionality. And rather than allowing your fields to become reactively entangled, where you find yourself picking up each other's anxieties, frustrations, and limiting patterns, you can consciously cultivate coherent entanglement. And this involves maintaining your own emotional field coherent while at the same time remaining open to that connection with your partner. And this is the balance between boundaries and intimacy at the quantum level. When this is perfected, you don't absorb the other person's chaotic frequencies, but you remain available for resonance with their higher frequencies. You hooked the best part of them. Couples who practice emotional coherence together report feeling more connected even when physically apart. And this is the result of intentionally entangling their quantum emotional fields in coherence. And this supports them to strengthen their connection. And as we almost come to the end of this presentation, let us look at how love, the love that we saw yesterday, that quantum love is the answer to quantum relationship healing, and it transforms relationships with quantum love. So if you look at another and you see them as part of your oneself, and you see the divine within them, and you see them as the love that they are, the love that you also are, you recognize your oneness with them. There are 4 truths about how quantum love can heal quantum relationships. And the first truth is that emotions have an energetic frequency and it impacts those around us. In other words, we can fall in quantum love. And the experience of falling in quantum love is what's known as entanglement. In the micro realm of the smallest particles, once 2 particles experience a shared state, they are no longer separate entities, but they exist as one. Do you exist as one with your partner? Do you exist as one with all the members of your congregation? This remains true even when they are separated by a great distance. Staying in a place of home frequency will ensure our energetic frequency is a force of positive power and we can use it to heal the relationship. What is home frequency? Home frequency is our energetic sweet spot of quantum love, where we are energetically open and vulnerable and at one with ourselves and those around us. And the opposite of home frequency is ego frequency. And this is a state where we are aggressive, where we are easily wounded, where we are less able to take in and give love. When we shift into home frequency, we realize our energy is negatively impacting our relationships and all people. And then we shift back into home frequency from the ego frequency. The second truth, your partner is your greatest teacher. Your partner is your greatest teacher. Your superior is your greatest teacher. Your supervisor, your employee is your greatest teacher because you are in an entangled relationship. There is a higher purpose for every relationship. That toughest aspect of the other person's personality is the unconscious reason you chose them as your superior, you chose them as your employee, or it could be the unconscious reason that you fell in love with your spouse. Because those roughest edges of our relationships reflect our own learning edges and deepest areas where we need to grow. Hello. Because they mirror how we feel about ourselves. And our relationships will call on us to get into integrity with our earlier wounds and negative life patterns. If you find yourself struggling with a partner's unaffectionate nature, this is a call on you to address wounds of emotional abandonment and unworthiness, to step into your power and ask for more physical affection. Whatever it is that irritates us about the other and our relationship is a red flag saying, pay attention to me. The third truth, the lens through which we view others, the lens through which we view our relationship will dictate our emotions towards them and the energetic frequency we hold around them. We look for ways in which the other is failing us. He is selfish. He is unaffectionate. This puts us in a place of scarcity and low frequency energy. When we change the lens through which we view them and the way we see our relationship to a more loving perspective, all things change and the relationship shifts its dimension. The fourth truth, it is always possible to shift into quantum love. Quantum love as an energy is always available to us. It is pure potential. And there is nothing stopping us from building the relationship we desire. We are a creator and we have the power to elevate our vibrations and choose quantum love anytime we desire. Along with the four truths that we have just shared, I will share with you Laura Barman's Quantum Love ABCs. And the first one, the A, is acceptance. And acceptance means being with the world as it appears, being with our partners or our companions as they are. And it is being with an experience that we are going through and accepting it rather than judging it, saying it's wrong, it shouldn't be happening to me, or trying to change it. This is what acceptance means. And it is easy to believe we must approve of the actions of those with whom we relate. But when we practice saying, I see this, the next things get onto our nerves. It means we are accepting the situation, we are accepting the world as it is, we are accepting our patterns behavior as it is, by simply saying, I see this, without judging and without trying to change it. What we resist often persists. So we just let the other be. We just let the situations we are facing be. The second ABC of Laura Berman is the B, which means becoming. And becoming means practicing that which we want to receive by giving the other attention without expecting anything in return. We can only have that which we choose to cultivate and be it fully within our internal terrain and become it so that we feel it energetically in our inner terrain. And the last quantum love ABC is C, which means consciously choosing. And this means that we consciously choose to respond and not to react to the situations we are facing, to the behavior of the other, choosing to respond and not to react, choosing to feel our feelings and pause to consider an option that brings us back to our home frequency of quantum love. So in quantum love, expectation stifles love. If we stop judging, if we stop blaming the other, if we stop punishing or manipulating and stop reacting and use our energy to embody our expectations instead of forcing them on others, miracles in our relationships will abound. As we close this presentation, we are going to practice mindfulness to see the divine in the other and heal the relationship between us. Get within yourself. Listen to the self. Listen to your own suffering, your own chaos, and hold that chaos tenderly as you look deeply into it. Be gentle with yourself and generate the energy of compassion and understanding for yourself. Understanding that the chaos and the suffering inside of you enables you to understand the suffering and the chaos in the other person, be it an employee, be it a supervisor, be it a parent or a child or a novice or a superior. How has your spouse, your parent, your child, your supervisor, your superior, your employee or novice been behaving with you? Their behavior is not their fault. Something must have happened. They must be suffering somehow, and there is suffering and chaos within them. Recognize the suffering in the other person who has been a victim of that suffering because no one has helped them to know how to handle the suffering within them. You may be the first one that can help them to suffer less. Listen with compassion to what the other person has been behaving as, and what they have been saying. And with compassion in your heart, understand what is happening to them, understand the suffering that is happening in their own heart. And look at them with understanding and compassion. And you will no longer be angry anymore because of how they've behaved with you. Now feel motivated by the desire to say something or to do something to help them to suffer less. And you can use loving speech, gentle speech, to help them to open their heart. And when someone suffers so much, that person closes off their heart. If we know how to be compassionate and use loving speech, we will be able to open the door to their hearts and help them empty their hearts so that they can suffer less. We can say to them, now I know you have suffered for many years. I wasn't able to help you. I might have reacted in a way to make you suffer. I am sorry. And I am sorry because I did not understand your suffering. That is why I reacted the way I reacted. I need your help, darling. I need your help, my child. I need your help, my parent, my supervisor. Tell me about your difficulty. Tell me about your suffering. Tell me about your despair so that I will not react the same way I have reacted in the past. And if you don't help me, who will? Help me to help you. As we end this presentation, take time in personal retrospection and introspection and think about all those aspects of your relationships that need to be shifted. How would you prefer your relationship to be? Thank you for listening to this presentation. Have a blessed evening and a restful night. Namaste. Thank you, and thank you. Ego mulungi wanje.